Bang, bang, Niner gang. Your boys from Nothing But Niners is back to bring you another fun-filled edition of the Nothing But Niners podcast here on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, or wherever you listen to your podcast. But before we get into all that, I know, guys, we got to go through these formalities. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button if it's your first time here visiting us here on Nothing But Niners on the YouTube channel. If you're on Facebook, make sure you allow them the permissions so that we can see when you comment. Give us a follow on Twitter, Snapchat. That's Nothing But 9, ERS, all spelled out. Right there on the screen, Nothing But 9, the number 9, ERS. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. That's Nothing But Niners, all spelled out. Spaces in between. Check us out over there, IG. Big Mike, NY to the Bay, holding us down over there. If you missed any of that, you can check it out on our World Wide Web, www.nothingbutniners.com. And there you will find a bunch of articles, slew of great writers putting out articles over there. Obviously, it's the off season right now, so it's a little bit slower, but you can also go over there and check us out. And you can go over to the new website, and that's shopnb9ers.com, shopnb9ers.com. You can get the NB Niners official apparel over there. You can get some Hot Girls of the Empire hoodies or shirts or whatever you want to get over there. And if you got any questions, comments, or concerns, you can email us at nb9ers@nothingbutniners.com. That's some. You can get a hold of me there. You can get a hold of Mike there. Whatever. If you guys got questions, comments, or concerns, you can send them over to there. But without further ado, man, let me bring in the homies here. Got Wayne Breezy here. What's going on, Wayne?
Hey, yo, it is free agency frenzy Monday. This stuff ain't going to end till like Wednesday. It's going to start dying down. But the 49ers are making moves just as y'all thought we were going to stand pat because we had little money. We making moves anyway. Talk to him, baby. Let's go.
Hey, all right. Mike, what's going on, fam?
What up, faithfuls? About to have a cigar, man. I got a little bit of celebrating to do. My Niners doing good. Sorry for making you guys dizzy. I'm still trying to get everything situated so I can get outside, sitting nice cold and everything. Gonna celebrate, man. Niners making moves. We back in business, baby. Off season, off to a bang. I love it.
We're definitely back in business. Today, a couple of the moves that were made today were, some fans weren't too happy with those. We did bring 2 breaking news videos for that. Obviously, the first one being Eric Armstead and his contract details were released today. I can go over those real quick if you guys want me to, just to explain a little bit about what it exactly is, the breakdown. And then we can talk about that a little bit if you guys want to do that.
Yeah, do your thing, baby.
All right, so it looks like the report from David Lombardi that came out said the report has Eric Armstead's new 49ers contract at 6 years, not 5. And as he expected, heavily backloaded. Look at the base salary. So 2020 is $2.5 million, 21 is $6.7 million, 22 is $14.1 million, 23 $15.9 million, 24 is $17.4 million, 25 at $17 million, with $17.5 million as a signing bonus /6 equals $2.9 million. So only $5.4 million salary cap hit this year. He also did get $45.8 million guaranteed. 17.5 of that was a signing bonus. Salaries is $2.5 million guaranteed. 6.665 is guaranteed also in 2020. 14.15 million, making it 11.7 million guaranteed injury at signing, and then 5.85 million guaranteed for skill. Cap if on roster at April 1st, 2022 would be 15.89 million, 17.4 million, and then 17 million for those final 3 years. As most of us expected, we heard 5 years, 85 million. So it technically is 6 years, 102 million. With that 6 year being an option, obviously, and being backloaded. What are your guys' thoughts on this? I mean, obviously, I just said it was what 2.5 or 5.4 million salary cap hit.
You said 6 million, 102. How'd you get the extra year? I'm sorry, I missed something.
Well, the report came out from Lombardi that the new contract is at 6 years, not 5. It's 5 years with a 6-year option, I believe, at 102 million. So, 6 years, 102 million, 45.8 million guaranteed, 17.5 at signing bonus.
I got you, man. I don't know, Breezy, you want to jump on this first and then let me, or if you want me to jump on now, I don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike. You got it, bro.
You know, I want to give us here at Nothing But Niners some kudos. We have been talking about the value of Armstead's versatility. A lot of people were let him walk. He's not that important and all. And we have maintained for quite some time here that Armstead is important to the defensive line, that when he's healthy, he is one of the better defensive linemen on the team. You know, with this contract being the way it is, it's team friendly and satisfying to the player all at the same time. And you usually don't get both of those. The reason it's team friendly is because of the cap hit for this year. It's less than $6 million worth of a cap hit this year. That is phenomenal. That is phenomenal. $20 million worth of bonuses this year. I mean, he's happy because he's getting literally the biggest paycheck he's ever gotten in his life. And the team is happy because they have him locked up. He's got security. And he didn't break the bank to do it. It's all about manipulating those numbers. We've talked about this salary cap thing and why it's important, but it's not super important. You wonder why teams go over. How is it possible teams go over? Look at what the Niners just did with, what was it, $12 million of cap space that they started with? No, $9 million, I think it was reported, right?
9.9.
Yeah, I mean, and you gave away today over 100, 101 or 106, whatever you said now, million today, and it cost you $5 million this year. It's incredible, man.
You know, Mike, the crazy thing about this is if you go back and you know, people are talking about why did the 49ers choose Eric Armstead over DeForest Buckner? And we'll get into the DeForest Buckner thing in a minute. But if you recall, DeForest Buckner was offered $18 million a year.
This was last year, and he turned it down.
Yes. And he turned it down.
3-year, $18 million extension. Yep.
Right. So an extension, and he turned that down.
Wait, if you recall, I never heard this.
This was last season, bro.
Yeah, last season they
offered him a contract extension, and he turned it down to bet on himself. And
I don't remember that happening at all.
It absolutely did. I remember that. I do. And they brought it up this year too. They brought it up again. And you know, it's unfortunate. I mean, the 49ers could have easily tagged DeForest Buckner, but it's unfortunate we had to let a talented player like himself go. But the way our bank account is set up, man, we had to do what we had to do. This was strictly business move. And I think Mike called it earlier. He was like, he said, look, man, DeForest Buckner had him a deal already in play once the trade was announced. So it seemed like this was the best for both sides. And that's something that the 49ers have been doing lately. Like, they've been making sure, even when the new regime came in and we started getting rid of players like Eric Reed and Navarro Bowman and people like that, we made sure that they were, even Colin Kaepernick, we made sure that they were okay. Like, we made sure that it wasn't a burnt bridge. That they will be going to a place where, or they'll be set up for their best endeavors, because we had to move on with the team and go in a different direction. That's the one thing I can say about this regime, this 49ers staff, man. They make sure that the players are good. And for DeForest Buckner, man, he gave the 49ers everything he had. And it's definitely a sad day, but it's going to be a happy day coming soon. So, guys, I know many don't like this deal. They don't like the trade. I know you were talking about Eric Armstead, but they don't like the trade of DeForest Buckner. But trust me, it's going to be good. It's going to be great. We just got to stick around and watch what's going to happen. I believe more things are going to happen going into this off season. And I have one question for you two, because you guys are gurus, right? So I have this question because this thing just popped up in my mind, and it's a 49ers player. He wears the number 94, and I wonder if this is the season where he gets these reps and he finally has one of those, you know, those kind of like, I'm going to stand out type seasons. Number 94. What do you guys think? I hate Mike's smile. I hate it, yo, because I don't know if he's smoking. Oh, I played softball yesterday. My body hurts.
That's because you're old.
I'm old.
Nick, you want to go first on 94, or you want me to go?
And I'm trying to stay in the bag and hold hold tight on Solomon Thomas, and I just don't know. Like, I just don't know. I haven't seen enough of him. He's been on this team. He's had the opportunities to start and play. I know he's been through hell. The same as Goodwin. And everybody cuts Goodwin slack, and nobody cuts, Thomas slack. But I just look. You heard me before. I started this year about Raheem Mostert. Like, he's had the opportunity to perform. Why isn't he performing? Right? These guys get their chance. They're in camp. They get a chance to show what they are. The coaches know what they are. And I think Solomon Thomas is just here because he was a classmate of John Lynch. To be honest with you, like, I really do think that. I don't see anything, and this isn't, I hope, Solomon Thomas has a great year, obviously, because it helps us out. But when I see guys like DJ Jones playing, and then Sheldon Day outplaying a Solomon Thomas, getting opportunities and outplaying and getting more snaps than a Solomon Thomas, I just don't know what Solomon Thomas has to offer. And, whether he just goes and plays the 3-tech, and I think he's just I don't think he's strong enough to play that 3-tech spot either. I don't think he has a lot of power, and things like that. So I don't know. I couldn't give you an honest answer right now because I haven't seen enough from him. Obviously, what he does do when he's on the field is bare minimum. So I really haven't seen him. I haven't seen a place to set a ceiling for him, I guess I could say.
It's interesting about this question because we were just talking in the chat before we started. Not us, but I was talking with Scott, and Scott said that he's average for an NFL defensive lineman. I don't think so. I could be wrong. Maybe my standards are too high. Maybe if Solomon Thomas's production and play is average for an NFL D lineman, then that tells me that I am letting his draft position influence the way I look at him. And this conversation wasn't even 10 minutes before we started. So you're asking me now, what do I expect of him? And is this a year that he has to bounce back? And I'm wondering if I've been viewing him wrong his entire career. And I was going to do some more self-reflecting to give an answer right now. All right. I'm just going to go with my gut. I'm not sure he's on the roster when this season starts. If he is here, obviously you want the best, but I just don't think there's going to be much more improvement. I don't. The positive plays of Solomon Thomas are too far and few between occurrences where it's not like I think, oh, he's capable of stringing that together for a good game. I don't think I've seen Solomon Thomas. No, I'm lying. I have seen him one time have a good series. I have seen him have 3 straight really good plays once his entire career. I just don't. And everything else is a flash play once a game if you're lucky. He's just another guy out there. He looks like a death piece. Nick mentioned Sheldon Day. Like I don't know. It was a good comparison because you think of Sheldon Day and how far down he is on the depth chart. Meanwhile, there's Solomon Thomas, and both of them are giving you about the same thing. So I don't see it for him.
Yeah, it's I guess it's a raw question right now because we haven't got to see we haven't seen him blossom yet. We've seen him make a play and then miss like 95 plays and then come in and make another play, and then it's just so inconsistent with his ability. But I wonder if it's because of coaching, because of position. It could be so many different things. But when you space and you get rid of a juggernaut, right? You get rid of a juggernaut. This might be the space and opportunity to where in his head he can create the entity of Solomon Thomas. I think this is the year we see something different, and I think it's going to be a positive difference that we see from Solly. Other than that,
why now versus any other year? I'm just curious as to what's
it
going on.
It could have been just lack of I won't say lack of opportunity. When you get a chance to go in the game, you need to perform. But maybe he just needs more reps, more time, and we just had better people. He got drafted high, right? And then other people were able to outwork him due to whatever the situation was going on with him, and it's unfortunate, but
look, I hate to put it this way, but the reason that the Niners fans and myself and other people are so hard on Solomon Thomas is because of where he was drafted.
Agreed.
If he was drafted in the 5th or 6th round, we wouldn't be talking about him like that.
Exactly. Right? But the issue with him, Nick, is that 5th and 6th rounders are outperforming him.
Yes.
Right, exactly. But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, that's what I'm trying to bring up here is like, we give him more slack. We give him more, or we give him more attention than we really should because of the fact of where he was drafted. And it was obviously John Lynch's first draft, and first draft.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, first draft. And the reason that we're so hard on this guy is because of where he was drafted, number 3 overall, what else was on the board. And we take it out on Solomon Thomas, right? Now, is it more so Solomon Thomas, or was it more of a bust pick by John Lynch? And we just continue to try to live that hype up because he was a number 3 overall, or fans expect that hype of him when really, even in college, I mean, he was more of a gap guy who just utilized his speed inside. And what they're trying to do with him here is play him outside, play him inside. But then when we play him inside, we don't want him splitting the gaps. We want him to maintain the gap. That's our defensive line. Maintain your gap and hold the blocks.
So maybe he's just on the wrong team.
And he's just not – this just may not be the defense for him. And
that's what I mean.
Yeah, and exactly. And it's just – I think we take too much out on Solomon Thomas because of where he was drafted, obviously. But then again, there are times that says there are times where, you sit back and you say, well, damn, Sheldon Day's playing well, or, Julian Taylor comes in. Why aren't we seeing more of him? Or, a DeMontre Moore comes from the AFL or wherever he's coming from and outplays these guys. And then those guys' production makes you feel like Solomon Thomas is just not hungry, or he's just not a fit, or he's just not the person for that job. So, but if he was drafted in the 5th or 6th round, I don't think we would be talking about him as much as we talk about him. And that's just, whether he was getting outperformed or not, his name would be like, well, he's a 6th rounder. What do you expect?
If he was a 6th rounder, he wouldn't be on the roster anymore.
Right.
So does Solomon Thomas make the 2020 49ers team?
It really depends on what comes back.
It's just a yes or no question.
It's too early to tell.
I'll go out on a limb and say no, because we're tight on cap space. I could see them. He is a first round guy. I think the team can save $5 or $6 million if they cut him this year or something like that. I don't have access to my laptop right now, but I'm pretty sure there's some cap savings there for this first round pick. And I'm not sure if he's considered an end or a tackle. That's another thing with him.
Yeah, he's another one that
he's like this tweener guy, right? He's kind of bouncing around and trying to fill in wherever they want. Listen, I'm not kidding. I want to see him be successful, but it's just I don't see it. I want to see it. I really, really do. And we kind of gave him a pass for an entire season after what happened with his sister and all, and that was the right thing to do. You try not to judge somebody playing under those circumstances. And if I'm very close to my family, and with my siblings especially. The reason I'm outside today is because my baby brother's in town and wanted to spend the night. He's in my back room now where I normally record. Like I'm that close with my family. And if Solomon Thomas is half as close with his sister as I am with my siblings, I can't tell you guys I'm doing a show anytime soon. That's just talking. Mm-hmm. Forget physically going out there and performing, mentally preparing. I can't tell you guys that I'm going to come on here and do shows anytime soon. I wouldn't be able to commit to that. So, I think that giving him that pass was fair. It was just. And I that's the thing. I try not to hold that season against him. But what I was seeing his first year and what I saw last year is just, I just don't know what's there, I just don't know. Also, before we keep going too much, we talked about Buckner. We talked about the Armstead extension, some other things that we didn't announce with the breaking news. We usually start with the latest stuff up top. But,
tackle Sean Coleman. Yep.
Yeah, Sean Coleman was also given a 1-year extension. Now, this is the interesting part. Sean Coleman is seen as the swing tackle.
Mm-hmm.
He was only given a 1-year deal. And at this moment, we are under the impression that Joe Staley is coming back. So why a 1-year deal and not a 2-year deal? You would think that you would want some security for if and when Joe Staley leaves. And that's what Sean Coleman would be for, because we saw other guys fill in a tackle and they did okay.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's just a 1-year deal as a backup, as a swing tackle, because you have Daniel Brunskill and you have Justin School, who performed well. So it's just a.
So if he's just a backup for 1 year, why get him when those guys are here already? That's what I'm saying. I think
because how many injuries did we go through last year? Like
neither one of the backups were injured.
Yeah, Brunskill went down.
Did he?
Did he?
Yeah.
Nah, I thought Brunskill played all year.
No, Brunskill came down, and we were talking about who goes in. Justin School goes on that side, or
I thought Brunskill came in and filled in for
the center. Who filled in for the center?
I know his name, and it's neither one of them.
Ben Garland.
Garland. And we were like, Garland was playing tackle at the time. Then he moved over to center, and we're like, are they going to move Justin School from the left because Joe Staley came back to the right? Or are they going to put Brunskill there? Or whatchamacallit? So the three guys, you remember, they were the third. Brunskill and School were the third guys after Sean Coleman last year. They were the third guys.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I don't remember either one of them getting injured. I'm not saying you're wrong. I don't remember it. That's what I'm saying.
I don't remember Brunskill getting injured, but it's possible he did. The whole damn line got injured last year.
And just to go on off of Solomon Thomas, Mike, if he was cut pre-June 1st, it's only $90,000 savings. So he'll be on a roster.
Right, but what's the June 1st? You don't see that number? Can you see the post-June 1st cut?
Post-June 1st.
4 million, 5 million?
90,000.
Still?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
So that's not a big savings. That's not
all right. So then maybe, I mean, you got nothing to lose, I guess, except the roster spot.
Yeah, he'll be on.
Does the roster expansion count this year or next year?
This year, but it has to be an offensive lineman. One of those guys have to be an offensive lineman.
Oh, that's what this. Oh, okay.
So instead of 46 active, it's 48, but one of them have to be an additional lineman. If you choose not to do an additional a lineman as the 48th, then you can only start activate 47.
That rule doesn't make any sense because not everybody goes into every game with the same amount of offensive linemen in the first place.
Right.
There's some teams that only take
stipulation.
I think now they're going to have to though. I think that's what it is.
He's saying it has to be an additional lineman. What I'm saying is there has to be a minimum for linemen. Then it has to be you have to have 7 maybe, because I can't see how if we kept 7 all year, which we did. We kept 7 linemen all year,
but they want
keep 8. You get what I'm saying? That doesn't make any sense. Why?
I thought it was about being active or inactive.
Active. It's not about what's on your roster. It's just active on game day.
You can have 12 linemen if you want, but 7 of them got to be active.
Yeah, you can't.
That's what I'm saying, guys. We had 7 active all year long. We kept 7 offensive linemen active all year. So what I'm saying is there are some teams like the Patriots who only go into a game with 6 active offensive linemen.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say it has to be your extra spot has to be a lineman, I think there's just a minimum that they set, and we might already be meeting that minimum. I don't know. I didn't see the rule, but I'm just saying.
Nana says 8 active, and then Landon says you have to have 8 offensive linemen.
Right. So then there you go. That's what I'm saying. So there's a number that they have. If we went to a game with 8 linemen active already, they can't say you got to keep 1 more. That's what my point was.
Oh yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I got you.
Right. I was just saying with the stipulation with it says that 48th player has to be an additional lineman. It can't be another wide receiver. It can't be used for a quarterback. It has to be used for a lineman. If you don't,
I got you, bro. I got you.
Yeah.
I'm still baffled that we don't save any money.
I think it's because it's his 4th year, though, right? Like he has 1 more year before that 5th year. He won't get an extension.
Well, they didn't pick up his 5th year option. They had to announce that at the end of last season. They didn't do it.
But this is going into his 4th year, right? So we won't pick up the option until next season, right?
No. You have to announce it the year before, though.
Okay.
Well, no, don't you have till July 15th?
I thought you had to do it at the end of the previous season. I could be wrong. It won't be Mike's first time being wrong on this show. Damn sure won't be the last time either. I thought we had already announced. Listen, the reason I say that is because had already announced Buckner's 5th-year option. Didn't we announce Buckner's 5th-year option at the beginning of last offseason?
Right. We made him a deal, and he turned it down.
But I don't know. I can't remember when we did it. It's all right. It's all good, man.
Yeah. Well, either way, this is the end of his contract. He's making his cap number this year is 9.48, so 9.1 million.
Maybe we could trade him. Then all the cap comes off. And George Padilla has a good comment up there. I don't know if you guys see that.
Yeah, he says Solomon has 9 sacks in 3 years. That's what Eric Armstead had in his first 4. I'm hoping that he develops.
Yeah, now here's the difference. Solomon Thomas has played in a lot more games than Eric Armstead in his first 4 seasons. That's the difference right there.
He did?
Yeah, Armstead was injured a lot, dude. A lot. His first 3 or 4 years, I'm willing to bet Armstead missed 10, 11 games in his first 4 years, for sure.
Well, that would explain the slow development.
I really wish I could pull this stuff up. This is why I don't like doing shows.
I'm about to look up Eric Armstead's stats right now.
Yeah, you can see his games. We can figure out this is his 5th year right now, right?
Yes.
So that means 4 times 16 is 40. Yeah, 40. Wait, no.
No, this was Eric's 5th year.
What was his 5th year? The year that just passed?
Yeah.
Yeah, they picked up the option, so
he was a free agent. This was his 5th-year option. He's been in the league 5 years.
So then he could have played 80 games. So however many games he's played in, you subtract that from 80, and we'll know how many games he's missed.
Yeah, man. So this wasn't me trying to bash Thomas. I just wanted to know how we stood, the fact that the spot is opening up for him.
62 games played.
So he's missed 80. So he's 18. Missed 18.
And he's had 19 sacks.
He's got 19 sacks total?
Total.
Right, but he just had how many last year?
10.
So you subtract that. He had 9 sacks in 4 years.
4 years. That's what George was saying.
Yeah, George the man.
Wow. Well, for those that don't know, we covered this earlier, but the breaking news, because I saw somebody posted in the comments, they thought we only had a 5th-round draft pick. We always had the 31st pick in the draft, which was in the 1st round. But we acquired another 1st-round draft pick, the 13th pick in this draft coming up, with the trade of DeForest Buckner to the Indianapolis Colts. DeForest Buckner to the Indianapolis Colts. And we now have the 13th pick. So I definitely want to talk a little bit about, I know we want to trade. We want to do this. Go ahead, Nick.
That Solomon Thomas stat's not right. Solomon Thomas only has 6 sacks in his 3 years.
42. Yeah, he said 40. Through 4. Oh, wait.
But this Solomon is his 4th year coming up, so he's only played 3 years.
So Thomas only has a total of 6 sacks?
46 games played with 6 total sacks.
I don't think we should judge somebody just off of sacks, but so I don't think that's fair. I'm not gonna bust it down like
93 that. Total tackles, 73 solo, and 20 assists.
But that's not bad though, in 40 something games, right? He's only played 46 games. He's not on the field every down. I'm telling you, man.
He's not on the field every down because of how bad he's been, though. He became a rotational player.
I understand. I understand. In this system, that's what he's become. I got you.
So, either way, I mean, we were talking about Sean Coleman last year. I want to move on from Solomon Thomas because that's, to me, we don't really know what's going to happen because we could sign another defensive lineman. Who knows? And
yeah, man, there's some guys out here.
So, you go and Sean Coleman, I believe, I think is a good bring back. He had a really good
training camp
year before he broke his leg.
Yeah, man.
And then, his first year, he had a good year. He played, and then he came back the following year and broke his ankle. And then that was, obviously in the beginning in training camp. So, I mean, he was pretty decent. I think he's a good, I really like Brunskill. I really like Justin School. I think they're just going to get better. And obviously Garland. You're going to have Garland as well because
it's good to have that backup center, bro.
Because Weston Richburg is going to come back. So, that's a good thing.
This run game is going to be so nasty next year. I can't wait to see what running back we get. I can't wait.
I'm actually liking the depth. Hey, if we move Brunskill over to guard.
Yes, sir. Talk about it. That's it right there.
If we move Brunskill over to guard, that serves the purpose of us trying to get a guard because he's better at guard. He's a that will be good.
Yes, sir.
That will be real good.
Yes, sir. That's
so you got Brunskill and Tomlinson as your guards. You got Staley and McGlinchey as your tackles. You got Richburg back at the center. I mean McGlinchey. I'm sorry.
No, you're right. You're right. Richburg. No, it's Richburg. You're right.
You got Richburg at your center. Man. And we do know Brunskill's a big mother sucker. Shut your mouth. He's a mauler. And he's mean.
It's a man out there.
Yeah, Brunskill's definitely a
man.
So what I'm trying to say is, like, going into this season healthy, this offensive line is looking pretty damn good. Pretty good. And you know what the best part about the offensive line is? All these guys, they play together. We're not bringing in an additional piece that's got to learn the offense and do this and do that, or whatever. All these guys have played together as a unit at some point, protecting Jimmy G. I'm trying to tell you, man. I think the signing of Sean Coleman is going to help. Going to solidify this offensive line. They might bring in another piece here, but I think their love school. Right, he showed improved as a rookie. He can only get better, right? And they you see they re-signed Brunskill. Look, this offensive line is going to be tough. The question is, what the hell are we going to do with the running back position? Because Devontae Freeman is cut, and that is Kyle Shanahan's guy. And we already tried Coleman. So do we cut Coleman and bring in Freeman? What do you guys think? Just say hell no, Nick. I got it. Go ahead, Mike.
I don't want to say hell no because I don't know. You still got to see what happens with Breda. There's just so much that can still happen. Like,
bro, Breda gone, bro.
I don't think he's gone. To be honest,
he's gone. They didn't put all right. How many? Breda, they didn't even want to use him in the playoffs. Like Breda's gone. He was a healthy sit during the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that was sad, man.
No, he played special teams in the Super Bowl.
Are we okay? All right. Maybe Breda can come back for special teams.
Well, you're saying he was a healthy sit, but he didn't sit. He still played in the game.
I said healthy. He was active, but he was
active. But Mostert was running the ball 7.8 yards a carry. Why are you going to change it up?
Because Breda averages 5.4. That's a good combination.
And Coleman averages the same amount, and he didn't get as many touches.
I don't think Coleman finished the year averaging as much as Breda.
Well, Coleman was coming off of that injury too. Look, I know. If Coleman is cut, it's strictly a business move, right? It's cap space we talking about. I'm not sure about this Breda. I as much as we want to Breda to cheat on his squad, I don't think he makes the team. I don't think we need to sign him. I think the 49ers have their running backs.
Nah, I don't think we have our running backs. But I will say this. All right, so here's a couple of things that we got to be honest with about ourselves. Breda is one of the most talented backs on their team.
Okay.
I think Breda, as far as talent goes, is more talented than Coleman. I think you guys might agree with me. I could be wrong.
What do we mean by talent, though? Because
I'm talking about talent. When he gets the ball in his hands,
he's just faster.
I think Breda's a better in between tackle runner than Coleman is.
He sees holes faster, and he has that quicker step to accelerate through those holes faster.
Okay,
he's a more effective runner. I think he is.
That's not talent, though. That's just being faster.
No, that's talent. Being able to recognize holes.
I mean, if he's faster, he's gonna get to the hole faster. Like, right? I mean, that's how it works.
No, but
Coleman,
you have to
I think
recognize the hole also.
I think
That's
Coleman
part of the talent.
recognizes the hole. He just doesn't hit it as quick. Like, you know
But
what I mean?
But that's why I'm asking you guys right now. You're saying that our running backs are like, we're talking about going and adding different running backs. Who are the running backs that are going to be here?
I don't know. We still got Jet, right? We got Breda, we got Coleman, and we got Mostert.
We don't have Breda. We don't have Breda right now.
All right. Well, he's a restricted free agent, so technically we got him until we release his rights. And then we got Jeff Wilson Jr. Yeah. So that's 5 guys.
So that's 5 running backs on the roster technically right now.
I mean, I part of me, I want to see the Jet. I just want to see the Jet in this offense. I don't know if we're going to see the Jet, but I want to see the Jet. Does the Jet take Breda out of the equation?
He can't. Listen, I got to see Breda get a deal. I'm not counting Breda as part of this roster until he gets a deal. Y'all can say what he wanted about his rights, but the team can't keep his rights and not give him a deal.
But they own his rights until he gets a no deal.
I understand technically how it works. What I'm saying is if he doesn't get a deal from us, he's not part of the 49ers.
Okay, so then Kendrick Bourne's not a part of the 49ers.
They gave him a tender.
No,
yes, he is.
They didn't.
No. They didn't give one. Yeah, no. So he's not though.
Contract deal.
Right, but he's not. I'm not counting him. He's not here. I'm not counting him. I'm not counting Breda either. I'm not counting them as part of the 49ers roster until they get deals.
Okay, so if you don't count Breda, you still have 4 running backs on this roster.
Yes.
Why are you adding?
But the question that was originally asked was about Freeman or Coleman, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I brought Breda up is because I'm saying I think Coleman is not as talented as Breda.
Mm-hmm.
However, there is some level of comfort with Coleman that the team has that they don't have for Breda. And that's what I was getting to, is that I like the talent of Breda more than I like the talent of Coleman. But for whatever reason, it's not my team. Not whatever reason. I know why it's not my team. But they don't view it the same way. And I don't know what that reason is. So I can't sit here and justify. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't think they're going to bring Breda back, but I don't know why, because I like Breda more than I like Coleman.
Yeah.
Whether it's ability, maybe it's because of how often he's nicked up. He only had, 3 fumbles this year, maybe?
3?
But see, was it 3 fumbles he had? But it's on limited snaps also. So, like, this team is looking for people to come in and just be, like, perfect. And I don't think you're getting that from any of these running backs. Every one of these guys has fumbled the ball. So I don't know what they're doing. As far as Freeman goes, I'm not bringing in Freeman. I don't want to be Atlanta West. I'm tired of every single Falcon that becomes available. People saying, "Oh, we should go get him. We should go get him." No, I don't want to do that, especially with the running back position. There are so many young guys out there anxious and itching to make a name for themselves, the same way Breda was. You know, the same way Raheem Mostert was. These guys need a chance. We've had a chance with Breda, and I like the production a lot when he carries the ball. He is super duper effective. For whatever reason, the team doesn't like him, and I can't say that Coleman is an upgrade over Breda. So I don't know what the team is looking for in a running back. That's my long ass explanation. I don't know what the 49ers are looking for at the running back position.
I think they're looking for pace, like changing of pace. Pace is running backs, right?
But why do we need it? So let's talk, can we talk about that for a second?
We sure can. Absolutely.
When they mention change of pace, you have a guy who is quick and explosive. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna give you a name, Darren Sproles. Let's think of Darren Sproles. That's your Breda. That's even your Raheem Mostert. Can we put Mostert in that one, right?
I think Mostert's bigger, but yeah, you could put him in there as far as quickness. Yep.
Right. He's got that quickness, right? So then, do we have a bruiser? Was Coleman our bruiser? Who's? Because when I think of change of pace, you usually go from the bruiser to the scat guy.
I think Coleman was setting up to be the bruiser guy, and hence why he was getting 3-4 yards to carry and stop behind the line of scrimmage at points of times, because he doesn't get to the between the tackles as quick. He's not the best running back on the team, but he's the best pass blocker. You got to factor in all these other things as well, So, go ahead.
Well, no. I was gonna say no. Keep going with him.
Yeah, so he was the best pass blocker, and he probably was the best pass catcher out of the backfield at the time until the others developed, right? Because Mostert started catching the ball. Breda has hands as well. But I think he was our best check down back if we ever used the check down. That's the one thing I need Jimmy G to learn how to do, is throw it to the check down. All right, so So with that being said, I think he was the setup guy. So He comes in, boom, 2 yards, 3 yards, boom. Now you bring in the third down guy, and they're looking for this guy to run the ball, and it's not going to be super quick and explosive. And then bam, you hit him with a hard explosiveness guy. They're slow to react, and he's ghost for a good 26 yards.
So you're right. Now you got this guy that comes in there and he's not as effective as getting big chunk plays immediately in Coleman. Why do we need someone who is not as effective to do that? If they're running up the same gaps, they're hitting the same holes, but one guy is doing it better, why do we need somebody to draw them in? That doesn't make any sense to me. So I think that the whole change of pace thing is something that, I say fans?
I think it's more about creating deception. So,
but the deception is there though. Look at remember that first run play against the Browns?
But if I come at you, Mike, with fast, right, and you adjust to it, you get what I'm saying? Like you adjust to so if I come at you fast with fast guys and we gash and then they adjust, right? And now the fast not working, and you bring in a different guy with a different change of pace, because they might be attacking a different way, it might work. It looked like it worked because you watch Coleman have good games running. You watch Coleman have bad games running. You watch Mostert always be consistent and get like 13 yards to carry. Breda can't hold on to the damn ball. And Jeff Wilson Jr. just was really good on goal line until they start using him.
I don't get this whole slander on Matt Breda about fumbling. This was his first year fumbling the football.
Well, he shouldn't have been any year fumbling the football
for 3 years straight.
It doesn't matter. You should not fumble the football. Point blank, period. You got one job in the NFL as a running back, protect the ball. We all seen the program.
Time out.
For 1 year, this was his year with the most fumbles.
Well, this is the year he gonna get the most cut.
No, but he's fumbled in the past before, Nick.
But nowhere near as much as he did this year.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. But see, that's the thing. The problem
that Mostert had the same years before with less attempts fumbling the football, and we didn't shit on him and say we don't bring him back.
Oh, we definitely shit on him.
And then everybody did.
Get out of here.
No, we did shit on him, and you know he did.
The time he was here, he should continue to touch the football, be the number one running back, and all this other stuff.
We shitted on him, bro.
Nick,
we definitely did. Nobody. I know I did.
Nick, right. No, everybody did except my dumbass. I was the one saying Mostert's talented. Nick, you know for a fact that people hated Raheem Mostert.
That's what I'm saying. You were saying, like, you're not giving him you're shitting on Matt Breda for 1 year fumbling the football when you weren't doing that with Mostert. That's exactly what I'm saying. No. Listen, shitting on somebody and recognizing their faults are two different things. I always said Mostert's got to learn to hold on to the ball, and when he does, he's great. That's always been my thing. The problem is this. This is the problem why people are being different now with Breda. It's because year one, okay. Year two, okay. Year three, boom. He's trending in the opposite direction when it comes to carrying the ball. Where Mostert was bad,
he got
better. That one's trending one way and one's trending the other way. And I think that's why people are. Now I can't speak for everybody out there. I don't know, but I do know this. You said that no one was shitting on on Mostert. That's flat out wrong. People hated Mostert touching the ball. People couldn't stand him. You were one of them. You were like, all right, this year I give him his respect, but you were the main one. Well, not you, but everybody. You were on par with the rest of the fan base. It was Mostert can't hold on to the damn ball. I don't want him in there.
No, mine wasn't because of his fumble. Mine was because he just couldn't get on the field. Matt Breda has 4 career fumbles in his fucking entire career in 3 years.
Is it fumbles or lost fumbles?
Fumbles. He lost 2 lost fumbles his entire career, and we're shitting on the guy about fumbling the football.
Because he shouldn't fumble the fucking football. At the end of the day, he should not fumble. I don't give a fuck how you get hit. He should fumble.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
They should not fumble. Running backs shouldn't fumble the football. That's what they get paid to not fumble. They get paid to go forward and not fumble.
Nah, that's not fair, Breezy. I agree with you. Wait, hear me out. I agree with you, but what I'm saying is everybody fumbles. Frank Gore fumbled the ball.
I understand that. I don't give a fuck who they are. They should not fumble the football. I get it. If they're not protecting the football and the ball gets hit coming out, that's their mistake. That's a mistake on it.
There's also something else.
What I'm trying to say is Raheem Mostert did it over his whole career. This guy has 2 lost fumbles, and we're shitting on him. Get rid of him because he can't hold on to the football.
I don't think
Wait,
we're
but
doing one on him and get rid of him because he can't fumble the football. But is he the weakest link?
No.
So who's the weakest link at the running back? Coleman?
Definitely not the weakest link.
So who's the weakest link?
Coleman.
Coleman's weaker than Jeff Wilson Jr. Y'all motherfuckers can suck a crack because y'all sound stupid. Y'all sound real stupid. You talk about a guy who had a 4-touchdown game and he's worse than Jeff Wilson Jr.?
You're looking at one game.
No, I'm not looking at one game. I'm just saying he had a 4-touchdown game. It doesn't matter. So
that doesn't mean that he's better than Jeff Wilson, bro. Jeff Wilson had 4 touchdowns in 2 games. So what? What does that have to do with
he
it?
ran the ball 1 fucking yard.
Why didn't they give it to Coleman?
Because he wasn't that back to run on the goal line.
But what we're trying to say here is, and it doesn't need to get like loud, but what we're trying to say here is you can't compare fumbles to fumbles and saying they're worse than somebody because people have career years and people have down years.
Right.
That is the case. Matt Breda had a down year last year fumbling the football. He has 2 lost fumbles his entire career in 3 years in the NFL. Okay. So to say that he doesn't deserve to be on his team because he can't hold on to the football is retarded.
But I think what you're ignoring is that it's not just the fumbles this year. He also had 2 interceptions come off of his hands. He was that guy that had those passes coming off of his hands that should have been brought in. People do it. I'm not killing them for it. I'm just letting you know when people started saying his hands this year, it's because of the 2 interceptions and the fumbles that happened this year. That's all I'm saying. I think that's what people are holding. I told you guys when Kendrick Bourne had those drops, right? Everyone was ready to kill him. I'm like, dude, he's had 3 drops all year. But people, they stick out in people's mind for some reason, and they're amplified. That one looks like 5. You get what I'm saying? He had 3 drops all year, but people killed Kendrick Bourne for it. But the thing is, when you drop your ball and it goes into the opponent's hands, it feels a lot worse. That happened to Breda at least twice this year. So that plus the fumbles, I think is why people are saying he has hands issues. I think that's what people are saying.
I'm all for us bringing back everybody. I just don't know what type of contract. I mean, he's a free agent, so he's going to get offered a contract, right? I'm not sure if we'll match that. You know what I'm saying? If it's a lot of money, I'm not sure that it will be worth the 49ers matching. If he doesn't get an offer, I'm sure the 49ers are going to try to bring him back. You get what I'm saying? Like I'm not doodling on Matt Breda, but at the end of the day, I don't think running backs they got to find a way to not fumble. I get it. It happens.
And we had a contribution from Sean Shepard in there also, guys. I don't know if you guys saw it.
Coleman seemed to be consistently cheap this year. I think Wilson was going to be our bruiser, but we needed others active. Breda seemed tentative.
What does consistently cheap mean? What is?
I don't know. He's gonna have to explain that in another chat.
Well, because we got him for 2 years at $8.5 million.
So he got $4 million a year. Yeah, 4.2. So I guess that's cheap.
Is that cheap for a running back?
Hell yeah, that's cheap for a running back.
Hey, how much was the Jets contract though? Wasn't it higher than that?
Yeah, no, McKinnon's the highest running back. He's the highest paid running back on the team, but he also got like a 5-year deal, right? 4 or 5-year deal. I don't know what the going rate is for. I know one thing: the NFL has diminished the value of a running back, and I don't like it. So I have no idea what a running back's salary is supposed to be anymore. So I'm not trying to be funny at all, but I thought $4 million a year for a running back was decent money if you're not the bell cow. So I thought that was decent money. You also got to look at the salary plus what they're asked to do in the system, and that's what we're discussing here. None of these guys are the bell cow.
You want to know who the top 10 are in average salaries for the year?
But that's not fair because you got bell cows in there. You got Gurley, you got Ezekiel Elliott, you got
Gurley stopped becbecoming the bell cow.
You got Gurley. I can give you a couple. You got Gurley.
Oh, I'm saying you want to know what the top 10 money is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oh, you're not going to give names. You mean people? I mean,
the
you're going to
top
give
10 makes $5.2 million a year.
Oh wow,
that's what I'm saying. I thought $4 million a year was a lot. That's what I'm saying.
The 7th highest paid running back per year's average salary is Jerick McKinnon at $7.5 million.
That's what I was trying to say. $4 million ain't that cheap a year for a running back. That's what I thought. I thought it went down a lot. So
Ezekiel Elliott makes only $5.2 million a year.
No,
I thought you said the top 10.
I gave you number 10. Duke.
Got you.
Right, and then Cowboys Zeke Elliott makes $15 million a year.
Jeez,
there's a huge difference from the top 5.
Yeah,
right. but that's a
Devontae
bell
Freeman
cow,
was
though.
making $8.3 million a year.
I get what he's saying. It's their position is different.
Right.
So you think
I guarantee you, Todd Gurley's up there, Elliott's up there.
probably
You're gonna have a guy like
Dalvin Cook's probably up there.
yeah.
I'm gonna look
Did he get a new deal? Cook is going to be up there if he got his deal. You guys got to remember that there's the dude Gordon, Melvin Gordon was looking for a new deal, right?
He about to get a team. He about to
Le'Veon Bell, like there's guys up there who were looked at to get 300 touches. The Niners don't have a single guy touching the ball like that.
Jesus.
They're never going to have a guy like that under Kyle Shanahan.
It's not how the system works.
Guys, right. When you give these guys $4 or $5 million a year, McKinnon, when you give these guys that kind of money, they're expected to do a lot more in the system. That's all I'm saying. In this system, you can't look at it as just how much they make. Is what are you asked to do?
So what do we offer? What do we match Breda's deal with? If they offer him $4.6 million a year, do we match that?
That's too much for the Niners, in my opinion. That's too much for the Niners.
Do we match that?
What's Mostert getting? Mostert getting 3, right? 3.2 or some shit like that.
It's. I thought it was low. I thought it was 3 altogether.
No, I think it was 3 a year. I thought it was like a 3-year, 9 million or 11 million with 9 guaranteed. I could be way off though, guys. I've been drinking tonight. I'm not on call. Mike out here celebrating. Somebody said I had a vape. This is a cigar, bro. I don't vape.
So here you go. So 2020, there's no dead money for Tevin Coleman. 4.868, 750 in cap savings if he's cut pre-June 1st.
So
if we wait till after June 1st, it all comes off the books because there's no dead money.
Well, there's no dead money anyway.
So if we wait till after June 1st, we get that 4.8 back.
You get his full cap number back, 4.8 million this year.
Why would they cut him? Okay, dag.
He better start restructuring if he want to stick around, man. What's McKinnon's number at, Nick? I want to know that because McKinnon hasn't done anything, and I told you guys that if I'm McKinnon and the team asks me to take a pay cut, I'm saying no. If they ask for a pay cut,
well, I told you he's at $7.5 million a year.
But why not the pay cut if you haven't produced, Mike?
Because he hasn't produced due to injury, not because of lack of.
I got you. But still, injury.
No, you're right. Injury
this year is $4 million in dead money, 4.55.
Who was that?
Savings
I think he said McKinnon.
Yeah, that's Jerick McKinnon.
So if we cut Jerick McKinnon before,
if you cut him post June 1st, it's $6.5 million savings and $2 million dead money.
So we only lose $2 million.
After June 1st, you lose $4 million pre-June 1st, and you save 4.5.
Okay. What Sean?
Again.
Yeah, he said what I meant was he didn't give us highlight reels and play below the level we signed him for. So either then maybe 2 plays. Breda played crappy. I guess he's talking about Coleman, correct?
Well, because we asked him to explain what he meant by he was what was the word he used in the first one?
Inconsistent.
Was it inconsistent? No, that's not the word he used.
He said consistently cheap. Consistently cheap.
Yeah, same thing. It's hard to say that that Coleman didn't give us the highlight reels. But
I'm just saying, right there, you can bring back Matt Breda at $2.5 million a year. He was only making $600,000 on his contract.
That's the upgrade.
And you can still get rid of Coleman and not lose anything and still have $2.5 million cap savings. Actually, it would be more than that. Probably be like $3 million.
Yeah, if they decide to go with Breda.
Raheem Mostert's only making.
If they decide to go with Breda, that
$3
might
million
be
this year.
That might be the move, and then you get another $3 million back on your cap.
You said that Mostert's getting $3 million this year.
3.2.
It was 3 years, $11 million was his deal, right?
3 years, $8.7 million.
$8.5 million.
Say that again, Nick.
3 years, 8.5.
Oh, okay. So just under $3 million a year. Okay.
No, it's just over $3 million. His 2019 year was only 1.8.
3 times 3 is 9.
Yeah, but 2019 he only made 1.8.
What I'm saying, I get that. Well, never mind. It's cool. We're gonna.
Well, I'm saying he's over $3 million for these next 2 years.
Yeah. I get you. I was looking at average per year is what I was talking.
Yeah, so it's only his dead money is only $666,000 pre-June 1st in 2020 and $333,000 in 2021. So he's cheap too. So I understand, like I see Dre's commenting in here about touchdowns and this and all that, but when you're trying to save money and make moves other places and you have a cap hit and you get $4 million back in cap saves,
yeah, it's all business, right?
It's business.
We got to learn to watch football and not watch stats, guys.
I'm not watching just 9 like 9 touchdowns. Okay, yeah, he had touchdowns, but that to me that's not everything. I've said this with Kendrick Bourne. I've said this with receivers on the team. It depends on what you can do for this team all around, not just a touchdown. George Kittle only scores 4 touchdowns. What the hell does that make a difference?
Right, and that's what I was going to say.
Does on the field is good.
Right, and that's what I was getting at too. Is that we can't just pick certain stats to say, look, this guy did this, so he's worth it. You have to look at the overall value of each guy and what they're asked to do. The problem with these running backs is that they switch them in and out so often. Right. It's hard to get a good idea of what these guys can do. Because I'll tell you guys right now, no one else is probably ever going to say this. So if you're watching now, make sure you get your screen grab in. I think the best pass catching running back on this roster is Jeff Wilson Jr. I have no problem saying that. I have no problem saying that. And it's not just because I like Jeff Wilson Jr. and I know he was the goal line guy and all that, but he's a guy who played
twice this year.
Right. It's not about what he did for the Niners, though. I'm looking at him as a player and what he was doing before. He was a wide receiver. So you can't tell me that a wide receiver can't catch the ball. You get what I'm saying? A lot of people say, shut up, Nick. Don't you start with me, bro. A lot of people say that Juice is the best pass catching back on the team. And I'd give a nod to that. Like, yeah, Juice catches the wide open passes all the time. But I still think Jeff Wilson, if given the opportunity, would surprise people as a pass catching back. That's all I'm saying. But he doesn't bring enough to the table that we've seen in this system to value him that way. You get what I'm saying?
It could be just learning of the playbook and things like that. I think he will eventually blossom depending on spots open up.
But it's also money.
It's also money, right? That's the
right. We can't pretend because you got a guy. If McKinnon's healthy,
he's playing.
Healthy, yeah, exactly. He's getting in there, yeah, for sure.
And it could boil down to where it's Jet. It could be Jet, Mostert, and Jeff Wilson Jr. and Breda and Coleman are both going.
It's possible if they're trying to save money for the cap. Then I can see them cutting Coleman. If they're trying to save money, it all depends. And then if they're trying to save money, it's because they're trying to add somebody else. And that does not mean a running back. I mean another piece to the puzzle.
In general. Right,
yes.
Right. Mm-hmm. Hey, guys, we see what this team can do with less than $6 million. They can turn $6 million into $85 million. I'm sorry, 100 and what? 106 was it instead?
102 million.
102. We've seen what this team can do with $5 million. So I mean, that's a big difference in the game when you structure stuff the right way. You know what I'm saying? Like the Niners made it very clear. Armstead is here for the long haul, bro. I like that. I like that.
You got guys saying, people on Twitter saying they think we should cut Sherman. We can go younger, blah, 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 blah. And it's a lot of stuff that can go down. Well,
no one disliked Richard Sherman more than me. And I'm going to say this. I've heard multiple podcasts from multiple people that I respect a lot. Eric Davis being one of them. He's been on the show. He's a friend of the show. And, Eric Davis really, really believes that we should take Richard Sherman and move him to safety. He truly, truly believes that, right? And I'm not saying Richard Sherman can't do it, but Richard Sherman was top 2, top 3 corners last year.
Yeah, man.
You don't just move that. You don't create an unnecessary problem. You just don't do it.
I think the issue, Mike, is it's always that one play that replays in somebody's head over and over. Oh, he got beat for this touchdown and he got burnt, blah, blah, blah.
But every DB gets beat. That's what people got to remember.
We understand that, but a lot of the fans only focus on the one time or the 1.5 times it happened. Like, all right, let's talk about the Green Bay game, right? The championship game, right? He got burnt. Right, he gave up he didn't give up the touchdown, but he got burnt by Devontae Adams on a double move to the outside. Right, Devontae Adams starting on the outside, cut back up in the inside. He didn't have the safety over top to help. He got burnt. They were ready to trash him. But what happened? What happened 2 plays after that, Mike?
Gimme?
Yeah, It was like the interception never happened, right, Nick? I mean, we were at the game, but it was like no one talked about him being so smart. Oh, fool me once, but you're not gonna fool me again with the same move. It's like he's that dude. Like he's that guy.
And the reason we're successful, the reason. Go ahead.
Before we go into any further in this, remember you were asking earlier you weren't sure about the money for the 13th overall pick?
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
It's $3 million. So essentially we could get Eric Armstead and a 13th overall pick for $9 million in cap charges for 2020.
Dang. That's blazing.
Hey, anybody out there doubting my GM? What's up now?
God,
what's up now, bro? What's up now? What's up now?
God,
Come on. I gotta get inside, man. I swear, when we started the show, I was at 86%. My battery's down to 12. I'm outside. I'm using Wi-Fi and everything. I gotta get inside and plug it up. I hope my wife is done doing the laundry in the living room.
Dang.
All right, so let's. I mean, we've spent a lot of time on free agents that we're not even really supposed to be talking about yet, but.
No, but we were talking about in-house guys, though. You know, like it's not like we're talking about people who may not ever even be here. It's all people who are in strong consideration for appearances on the 49ers this upcoming season. I think it's worth it.
I want to talk about this. I want to dig into this Buckner trade a little bit because we just pretty much broke down the during breaking news, and I want to know what you guys are thinking about that more so now that you've had some time to take it all in, see what it's all about, understanding why the team decided to go Eric Armstead. I want to hear what you guys think, as in why the team decided to go Eric Armstead. And then what would you give that trade as an overall grade as well?
Well, if we're trying to say that they picked Eric Armstead over DeForest Buckner, I know that's how it looks. The word I would use is versatility, and we talked about it earlier, and we said that the productivity from Eric Armstead, being that he's able to be versatile on the inside and the outside, is 9 times out of 10 why he was able to get the deal. With that being said, I think that Buckner had more value to him, and I think that's why the trade went down right now, opposed to, tagging him and trying to trade him later, or recouping a 3rd round pick if we did trade him later on down the road. I think getting that early 1st round pick is a critical piece in the 49ers draft game, and I think that's why the move was there. We got contracts we gotta fulfill coming up very soon. Kittle's extension, and who else do we gotta extend? There's other guys we gotta get contracts signed for. Nick Bosa, obviously, in a couple of years. So I think with that being said, I think freeing up the cap space, that $12 million, is allowing us to do some things going forth and making us bigger and more well-rounded in the 2020 season. I think the 49ers have some depth on the D-line. I think this was one of the reasons why they felt like they could part ways with the DeForest Buckner. And I think if you saying they picked between Buckner and Armstead, I think it's mainly because of the productivity, the 10 sacks, the versatility, and it just seems like he's getting better and better. And now you go out and you fill another gap or another piece you need to fill on the team. I think that's what it is.
What would you give the trade overall, like letter grade?
The fact that you were able to get a high 1st round draft pick. I mean, we drafted Buckner 3rd, 7. So we moved down 6 slots and get the 13th pick. And we could possibly get a number 1 wide receiver. I think this is a good, and picking a wide receiver at 13 is a lot better than picking him at 1 or 2 or 3.
There's 26 guys that are ranked 3rd round or higher in this NFL draft as a receiver.
I know, but the guy that fits the 49ers is he Will he be at 13? I would say yes. So if the 49ers do use that pick, it's probably going to be on a wide receiver. It's probably going to be on a wide receiver. So get your Jerry Jeudy's out. Get your what's that burner from Alabama? Ruggs. That's the new Tyreek Hill 2.0. Yeah. So these guys might be there, man. And again, there's teams that need quarterbacks. And I would say trying to move up to get that quarterback might be something that happens. And our guy could be waiting and then later on in the first round. Look where we got Debo. So things can happen, man. But I would give the grade like an A-.
All right. And then Mike, I want to add this question to yours. You can answer those questions too, but do you think AA takes over for DeForest Buckner as the 3 tech?
All right, so these are all really good questions. I'm going to start with that last one. Do I think he takes over as a 3 tech? And I'm going to say no. Only reason is because I don't think Arik Armstead's role is going to be defined like that. I think that part of the reason he's here and he got that long extension is the versatility and how offenses are going to not just have to account for him, but account for where he is. And so just defining him by he's the new 3 tech and base, like, no, that takes away the value, if that makes any sense to y'all. I now I'm going to go back. I don't think that the team chose between Armstead or Buckner. I don't think that was their mindset at all. To say that last year showed their true value, that's not fair. Buckner was putting in work for years here when Armstead was on the sidelines and keeping, the benches warm for people due to injuries. So you guys know how I feel about Armstead. I love Armstead when he's healthy, but I'm not going to diminish what Buckner provided for this team.
Thanks.
He was stable. He missed one game in 4 years here. One. I don't know if there's another player that has been as reliable as DeForest Buckner has in the 49ers in the last 5 years. I'm not sure that one of those guys exists. With that being said, as far as the trade itself for Buckner, now that we've had time to sit and think about it, I like the trade, and I'm going to give it an A+. The reason is because DeForest Buckner was obviously happy about it. The trade happened at the same exact time his new contract was announced, which means that everybody was involved with this trade.
Buckner. So before you go any further with that, they reported on NFL Network this has been going on since after the Super Bowl. They knew that they were trying to get with it.
Right, because the Niners knew, listen, here's what we have to accept as faithfuls. The Niners knew DeForest Buckner's value. And if you like a guy that much, if you're honest with yourself, you respect the guy that much, you're not going to try to devalue him by offering him 18, 19 million a year. If you feel that Buckner's worth more than that and you know you can't give him that, let him go somewhere that, one, he wants to go, which is evidenced by him agreeing and signing this deal with the Colts already. Let him go somewhere he wants to go and get something out of it. I don't know that. Let me ask you this, and then is there another player on this entire 49ers roster you think we can trade today, get a first-round pick for? And I'm not saying that you can't, but I'm just wondering your opinion. Is there another player on this team? Is George Kittle a tight end worth a first-round pick right now?
No.
Maybe.
I would say second at most.
Because of his position, right?
Right.
So my thing is, and some people will argue yes, but even still, for a defensive tackle, there's two of them on the field at all times. Well, in a 4-3. And we can have Breezy answer the question also. But the question is that Breezy, can you think of another player on the 49ers roster that would warrant a first-round pick right now?
Nick Bosa. Like, he'd get you a first-round pick.
Right.
Possibly D Ford. Depending
I don't think D Ford after last year and those injuries.
Yeah, that's why I said possibly.
Right.
I could see why he wouldn't know. But no, I can't. I think the production, the consistency in the production from Buckner is why you had to make that trade. If they offered you the 13th pick in the first round, that's why you make that trade.
And so that's why I give this trade an A+. Buckner is obviously satisfied with it. I don't think Buckner would look anybody in the eye and say, hey, I deserve more money or the same money as.
But that's the other thing. Like, we have to understand is like how we were talking about earlier that he denied an $18 million extension. You know what I mean? And that shows me right there that he wanted to get paid. He wanted bank. Like, he was out to get paid, and that's what mattered to him the most. And
was that confirmed, by the way? I still had never heard that until you said that, by the way.
Yeah, it happened last year, Mike.
And then they asked him again at the podium and said, you know, heard there's some contract negotiations going on. He's like, well, those are going to stop now, and we'll get back to him next year.
People were saying, are you worried about getting extended and all that? He said, right now, the season has started. I do remember that. The season started. I'm here to play, and we'll worry about that in the offseason. I remember that, but I don't remember those numbers coming out, which is kind of strange. I don't know. I think I would remember. I just must have missed the number. That's all. I do know that they were negotiating with him for a while. All that being said, though, my overall grade is an A+ because you maximize the draft capital, what you got in return for him, and he got the maximum deal out of it. I don't know if I've ever seen a trade for a player that's a win-win like that all around. Nobody got fleeced. You know, you think about that Herschel Walker trade that set franchises back for years. You guys remember that? The Cowboys and
the
Vikings. You
know,
got
like that. 5 first-round picks for Herschel.
Some insane shit, right? Like, none of that's happening these days because people are too smart. You know, this isn't anyway. It
was John Middlecoff that reported it, and it was a $60 million contract with $60 million fully guaranteed. It was $60 million fully guaranteed. And the question to DeForest Buckner was asked him if it was that, and he said, no, that's not true. But you don't really know if it's true.
Okay. But even if it is true, though, see, you know what my problem with that is? If it's not true, then all right, cool. If it is true, then that makes DeForest Buckner look money hungry.
Right.
And that it kind of diminishes.
You don't really know. And I'm just saying, John Middlecoff is usually really good on top of things. That's a good source. What? I don't think he's been as wrong as much as a lot of other people have.
I'm not going to comment on Middlecoff because I don't want to seem like I dislike the guy, but he throws some shit against the wall sometimes, and just to see if it sticks. I do know that.
Yeah. Okay.
But either way, you know, Buckner denying it. Listen, this is what I got to take.
And
Buckner.
Guy Haberman was the other guy that was in on.
Guy Haberman.
Yeah.
Haberman and Middlecoff, and they work on the same show together. So, you know, it's not impossible for them to have that information. But I just either way, everybody was happy. Nobody got fleeced, and it worked out for everybody in all positions. You don't see that often, and that's why I say it's an A+ thing. You're not going to get more for a trade from anybody else. I just don't know if you can get that for anybody else on this team. The 49ers had the one guy that they could do it with. They had the guy that they had fuck it. It's a good trade. A+.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with the reason like I said earlier, I think this trade is a good trade, and while we're going to lose on DeForest Buckner and his presence on the defensive line, you know, we're definitely going to lose on that end. But if you look at it for the team in general and not just a specific player per se, like I said earlier, you know, we're not picking till 31st overall in the first round. We don't have a second, third, fourth round picks. You know, what do you have? 2 5ths, a 6th, and 2 7ths, I think it is. Is that what our picks are this year?
We got 1, 5, 6, 6, 7.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. 1, 5, 6, 6, 7, I believe. I think, yeah.
We got 5 picks, though. I thought we had 5 picks.
Yeah, I think there's 2 5s.
2 5s or 2 6s. It's one or the other.
Yeah.
It's 1 5, 2 6s, 2 7s. It's something like that. I know we got 5 picks. Now we got 6.
Right. So,
right.
All right. So we look at it that way, right? And we look at cap space. And this year it was $12.4 million on cap. you let Eric Armstead walk, you get 0 back, right? You get nothing in trade value. You're not getting a number 1 pick back for him. You're not saving in cap. You're not getting that cap money back to be able to better your team for this year and keep that winning window open. So somebody approaches you about a guy who you can get a first round pick for. You look at the future of the team and you say, okay, we're going to save $12.4 million. He's going to get paid like he wants to get paid. We're not going to be able to pay him that next year with a Coudl coming up and, other players. You're going to have Fred Warner coming up soon who's going to need an extension. You got Coudl coming up. You got a lot of guys that are going to be coming up for extensions. So, okay, you front end or you back end load a contract with Eric Armstead. You don't lose anything. You keep somewhat of the same type of talent. Okay, I don't want to say the same or better or not better, but you keep a defensive lineman who's productive. You get a first-round pick back for DeForest Buckner, and then you save 12.4, which takes you from $9 million to $22 million in cap space frees up, and you still have opportunity to make other moves, whether you want to trade the 13th or the 31st overall pick to acquire more picks, move up in the draft and get somebody that you really want. It gives you those options, right, for drafting. It then saves you money in the cap space. So now you're at the 22.4 where people believe that, Goodwin is gone, right? That's going to be 11 million in cap saving, right? Because it's 4 million this year and 7 million next year, right? So, that's 11 million right there. If you think Jerick McKinnon gets cut, right, you're going to save another there. You're going up, right? By the end of the thing, you're what are you at? 34, 35 million. But to break it all down, I think this is a lot of fans, us as fans, myself included, get attached to players and we don't attach ourselves to the team. And when you step back and you look at this trade, as much as it hurts me to see DeForest Buckner go, because I do like DeForest Buckner and it's going to be weird not seeing him in a 49ers uniform, but this makes sense more for us to get to the quest that we're really actually trying to do, and that's win Super Bowls. And that's to keep the core of the team together. You take a sacrifice on one player to keep other players that you want around, to keep that window open. It gives you money in cap space. It gives you draft picks, and you can draft. So to me, it's a team deal, and you didn't lose a ton right now. You have 3 years now to see what you're really going to lose.
Well, we did lose. It's
money wise.
Well, yeah. What I mean by that, we didn't lose yet. I think what we do with the 13th pick is going to be the final grade on this trade. Because if we were to get a Solomon Thomas with the 13th pick, then we can't for sure say we lost, right? Because if we get a Solomon Thomas, and I'm not saying that, I'm talking about that type of production, we have to still account for what DeForest Buckner brought to the table somehow. We have to still account for that. And so if we don't, if this defensive line comes out and they're nowhere near as good or as effective, because now they're just going to double Ford and Bosa on passing downs and they're not going to worry about what's happening up the middle, this team as a whole takes a step back. We still have to get some production from someone. It doesn't necessarily have to be that 13th pick, but that's all going to have to factor in the final for this trade. But at this very moment, it's a win-win. Yeah.
And I agree with you, but you don't think that we can get the thing that worried me about DeForest Buckner is, and whether people want to blame it on double teams or whatever it may be, he had one good year, just like Eric Armstead. And this year, with more help, he declined. He didn't get better, right? Eric Armstead, with the help, got better, or this year got better, whether you want to say it's help or whether it's whatever. DeForest Buckner went from a 16.5 sack season to 8.5, right? That's what it was, 8.5. So with more help, so it's like you're telling me that we can't get 8 sacks between a rotational guy at the defensive tackle position with a Julian Taylor or a DJ Jones or an Eric Armstead, like those guys playing in that 3 tech. You don't think we can still get those 8 sacks at that position?
I don't know, but it remains to be seen. I get what you're saying, I'm not just going to assume that anybody can come in and do it. Getting a
Right.
sack.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like we have to look at it that way too. We can't sit here and be like, we have to say the bad things too. Like he digressed. He did digress this year. Whether
if you're talking about production wise, you're 100% correct.
Whether it's double teamed or not double teamed, because he was the only defensive lineman that was playing well and getting double teamed the year before and had 16 and a half sacks.
There's a site that tracks tackles for loss. I don't remember what it is. I would be curious to know what Buckner's tackled at the line or behind the line of scrimmage were for this past season. Not just sacks, but because he was on the field a lot. Buckner's been on the field a lot. He is somebody that I also think was overused. I think that he should have benefited a little bit more from the rotation, but he was one of the guys that the team just didn't want to take off the field. You know what I'm saying? So I think that we could have used him a little bit better. We could have allowed him to be a little bit fresher. But because he was one of those elite defensive tackles, that's how a lot of people viewed him. That's how the team viewed him, right? They didn't want him off the field. He was one of the few guys that they were like, hey, you got to be out there. Him and Nick Bosa. I don't remember many significant plays that they weren't out there on the field at all. You know what I'm saying? And so, but they rotated D Ford. They rotated Armstead. They rotated Jones when he was healthy. They rotated Blair when he was healthy. They rotated Solomon Thomas. But those two guys, Bosa and Buckner, seemed to be out there. It felt like 90+% of the time. I'm not sure what the numbers are, so don't hold me to that. But my point is, he didn't benefit from the rotation, that deep rotation that we all saw everyone else benefiting from. And so,
correct. And that's what I said. I'm not taking anything away from Buckner. I'm just saying, if you want to spit true facts and people want to come at me with facts, then you have to look at it as the way he declined. He went from a 16 and a half year sack totals with no help to 8.5 with a ton of help.
Right. But that's why
the whole fact about he was double teamed. Well, there's a lot of guys on his team that are double teamed. And when he was in single coverage, he didn't get home.
Well, that's why I said
he's probably overused, man. Probably tired.
Right.
It's the same thing that we were talking about with running backs. We can't just pick a stat and run with it. I would like to see some of the advanced metrics to see how he weighed it out. I'm not, when I say advanced, I'm not talking about PFF grades. I'm not ever talking about PFF grades. I won't diminish what he did and what he brought to the table. His dependability, his reliability. If the saying is true and you're a GM that believes that availability is the best ability, DeForest Buckner is the best defensive lineman probably in the NFL, or maybe the second best. I don't know how often Aaron Donald's been injured, but I feel like Buckner is up there. And not just availability as far as how many games he can play, but snaps. DeForest Buckner, we saw it. It was 4 years and over 3,000 snaps or some crazy shit like that, like 3,400 snaps. There was a tweet that went around today saying how many snaps he took and missed just one game. I'm not sure even Aaron Donald has done that. I'm not sure. So that's why he warrants a contract like that. And it is a little bit concerning. I do understand exactly what you're saying. This was an elite defensive line, and he kind of faded to the background with some of the stuff, but he got pressures. I
don't want people to think that I'm not saying that Buckner wasn't reliable or didn't play his ass off or play to the point. I'm just saying we have to look at this in general. We were not going to be able to keep this guy around for long term,
right?
And keep this window open and continue to try to win Super Bowls by keeping him here, letting an Armstead walk, and then trying to pay Buckner next year, along with Coudl, along with Warner, along with linemen or whatever, because we're gonna have to find safeties, we're gonna have to find corners, we're gonna have to find it's just
next year
as a team move. This was the best move that they could have done.
Absolutely, and I'm going to tell you to further your point. Let's say we kept Buckner. We know the kind of money he would have demanded. We see it now. And we're not going to be able to do what we need to do at the corner position next year if we keep Buckner here. We just weren't. We weren't going to be able to do it. Tony has said it a bunch of times on the shows. Our entire secondary is not here next year without extensions. Sherman, Witherspoon, Mosley, all those guys are free agents. And so that's why making some space in the cap and not having someone that you have to pay $20 million a year on the defensive line is important. And so it's a big deal, man. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, look, you got to look at it this way. Houston just got rid of their top number one guy for pennies. Right? To the Arizona Cardinals. Yet everybody's saying they're retarded, right? But we just got a first-round pick back for a guy that deserves that first-round pick, but also clears up cap space for us to be able to continue to add.
It's a no-brainer, Nick. It's a great-ass business move. It's a genius move, yo. The return on the investment is ridiculously big, yo. Like you spent a seventh round pick, you get him, or sixth round pick, you get him, and he does his thing. He develops. He becomes this player that the league has on camera. They want him on the team. He's a great locker guy room, and we're able to get $12 million in cap and a first round pick. I mean, it's just a no brainer. John Lynch pulled a genius move, and he definitely needs to be hand clapped. So to leave you with this question, go ahead, Mike.
I was just gonna say, and then you don't lose your thought. Imagine this: you get a first round pick. It gives you the phenomenal production and availability that DeForest Buckner gave you, and when he leaves, you get another first round pick in turn for him. that by itself is an insane cycle.
That's
and the 49ers just did that.
Just did it.
Imagine every first round pick that you can't keep, you get a first round pick for.
I think
the Patriots wish they could do that.
They can do that. I think that is the blueprint that the 49ers are setting for themselves. That's what I was talking about earlier on the show.
And that's the thing. Don't get me wrong. If Armstead would have warranted that attention that DeForest Buckner got for a first-round pick,
he would have been the one gone.
It would have been last year. It would have been something like that. But allowing a guy to walk that knows the system to a guy who's getting all the looks in the league, and you can get that back for him and save in a time that you need the money and the picks. To me, it's just a great business move, man. I can't hate it. Like, I'm happy for Buckner. He's getting paid. I'm sad to see him go, right, from this team because I loved him as a player on this team. I think he gave everything that he had, and he was a hell of a player. But business-wise and team-wise, this deal just makes so much more sense. You're not getting anything for Eric Armstead if he walks. He goes and signs a lucrative contract somewhere and he does well. Then you're like, we just let him walk for nothing.
Agreed.
And then we can't sign DeForest Buckner next year. Now we're down 2 defensive linemen.
Agreed.
So I don't know.
And one thing I've never seen DeForest Buckner do ever. I have seen every single 49ers defensive lineman look at the sideline, do this, and walk off the field. I'm tired. They do this when they need a breather. I have never seen DeForest Buckner do that before. In fact, I have seen DeForest Buckner tap his helmet, and he came right back. He didn't even get off the sideline. He did that a bunch during the Chip Kelly year.
Yeah,
that man was a machine, bro. Mm-hmm. He was an absolute machine. I mean, I'm giving him his flowers because he's gone. Want to pay some homage to him right now, but this guy was an absolute stud. He was an absolute stud. That's what you want from a first-round talent. That's what you want from a guy that you pick in the top 10. And to get a 13 pick for him when he departs your team, absolutely phenomenal. But I feel like we spent a lot of time on this. I do have other questions, but Breezy, I cut you off and I told you don't forget your thought. Do you remember what it was that you were going to say?
Yeah, is with this trade, and it'll stem from this trade because I'm gonna probably be getting off soon. But with this trade, does John Lynch have to get this 13th pick right? Does he have to get this right in order to be considered a guru GM? Because he gave up apparently the best lineman that we had.
All right. I'm not going to argue about the best lineman thing or not. That's debatable for everybody, right?
That is correct.
But what I will say is this. That pick is house money. And what I mean by that is you can take a risk because it's not our pick. It's an inherited pick.
Mhm.
You can trade down and turn that into multiple picks, which I think he's likely to do. We'll talk about that tomorrow when we do the show tomorrow with Tony on here. I think that you can trade down and turn that 13th pick into a 20-something pick and a second and a third and a seventh. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can turn that 13 into multiple players. You can turn that 13 into a stud wide receiver, a stud corner, a stud offensive lineman if you want. You have so much that you can do with that. And the problem that
hold your point. Breaking news, and I know people are going to want to know because they're going to start posting it. Diggs is a Bill.
Yep, Stephon Diggs to the Bills per Josina Anderson, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Stephon Diggs is out of there, and he went to the. Hey, Buffalo is going to be fun to watch too. I'm sorry, I had as much fun watching the Bills this year as I had not quite as much fun as I had watching the Niners, but
dang, he in the AFC. Oh man.
Yeah, Patriots reign is over.
I don't know, man. You saying it's over? You saying
they're
it's
not even
over?
Bringing Brady back? Brady going to the Bucks.
Nah,
it's a wrap.
I think Brady's gonna remain a Patriot. They just brought back they franchised their linemen. They got their linemen back. I think Brady's coming back and they're gonna go ahead. Yo, don't be surprised if one of them receivers, Robbie Anderson, Amari Cooper, like those guys, they might end up Patriots, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Sure.
I'm so loving football, bro. Like I just can't wait to start.
Man.
Please continue your point, man. I'm sorry.
No, you're right. NFL broke the drought for us, man. We didn't have any sports to talk about of any kind. And today happens, and the NFL shows why it's king. It's crazy. Not a single game was played, and the NFL is all the buzz of social media today. It's incredible. It is absolutely incredible. But my point was made already. It's just I don't think that the 13th pick itself is what's going to determine how good this trade was. The trade is already there, but we do have to get some production at that position. Whoever is going to play instead of instead of Buckner, whether it's a multitude of players in the rotation there or one solid guy, we do need to make sure we get at least what Buckner was bringing at least last year. And this is how I'm going to say this. Buckner wasn't needed. Buckner wasn't needed to be the guy that he was in order for the Niners to get to the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. So what we need is what Buckner was this past year.
Mm-hmm. To continue. Can I tell you what they just got for him?
Yeah, they gave up a first, fifth, and a sixth.
A first, a fifth, and a sixth, and a 2021 fourth, and a 2027th.
God. All that for Diggs?
All that for Diggs.
They had to get other picks. They had to send more than just Stephon Diggs.
Bills are trading a first-round pick, a fifth-round pick, a sixth-round pick, and a 2021 fourth-round pick for Vikings wide receiver Stephon Diggs, and a 2027 round pick.
Damn.
That's a lot.
You know why? What does that tell you? You send all of that. The Bills think it's their year to take that division. That's why.
Yo, the Vikings just got loaded on picks too.
Yeah.
And they're looking at. I heard that they were looking at Teddy Bridgewater. Man, NFL is so freaking great.
Who's looking at Teddy Bridgewater?
Not the Bears were. The Bears
were.
Yeah,
the Bears. Yeah.
Sorry, the Bears were because the Vikings
and the Dolphins are in that division. And don't look, they got 3 first-round picks this year too.
The Dolphins.
Dolphins gave Flowers money, bro.
They not just Flowers. They see what they brought. They got Shaq Barrett. They got some cats.
And they got a fifth, a 15th.
They got the
51st pick in the first.
It's gonna be fun.
They're gonna be like the Raiders last year.
Yo, the Bills better. The Bills are crazy.
I was telling Mike the Bills making that trade mean that the Patriots gonna re-sign Brady. They're gonna go after one of them receivers. Amari Cooper or Robbie Anderson will be a freaking Patriot. They just brought their defensive back.
Yeah, but who's their quarterback?
I just said they're gonna re-sign Brady.
Nah, I don't think so, man.
Why not?
I truly think that Brady doesn't even really want to go back there.
I said that I could see him going to Tampa, but I will say this, man. Brady to me is the Patriots version of Joe Montana. You never want to see him in another uniform.
Yeah.
But it's not impossible. That's what I was going to say. It's not impossible.
I
But
agree.
Brady should, for all intents and purposes, retire a freaking Patriot, man. I can't, it's going to be criminal to see him in another uniform, but it's not impossible, bro. If Joe Montana can leave the Niners, Tom Brady can leave the Patriots, man. Especially at 40, 42, 43 years old.
Was it Joe Montana traded?
Yeah, to the Chiefs.
To
Yeah.
the Chiefs,
So,
yeah.
so that's worse. Like, that's worse.
It's free agency, right? Yeah, I
Right.
get you.
So I don't
Did you
think
guys wait before we leave that? Did you guys hear the Believe in 49ers podcast with Rashawn Haylock and Eric Davis? Eric Davis two podcasts ago, not this latest one, 2 podcasts ago, told a story that I had never heard before. Joe Montana wanted to stay with the 49ers.
Yeah, I heard that. I knew that.
Yeah,
and
he wanted to stay.
The front office said, look, if we open up this competition between you and Steve Young, you are going to win the competition. We're not going to allow that to happen in Steve Young's time.
Mm-hmm.
I had never heard that part of it before. I heard that he wanted to stay. I never heard that the front office was just flat out like, no. I never heard that part.
Yeah.
I don't know. That just seemed like something special to me. So
this is where I think he ends up, and I kind of agree with this.
Brady to the Chargers, and they draft Herbert.
Why let go of Phillip Rivers for Brady?
Phillip Rivers is going.
No, he's saying why let Phillip. Well, then
right,
Phillip Rivers will be a Patriot if that happens.
Phillip Rivers is going to Indianapolis.
Nah, they said that they ain't got nothing worked out.
Phillip Rivers is more capable than Tom Brady right now.
He's younger.
So I don't get that trade. I mean, I'm saying now, I know that it wasn't a physical trade. I don't get the trade off. I don't get going from one to the other. If I'm a team, I'm going for Brady because I want to put butts in seats. And that's got to be a team like Jacksonville or Tampa Bay type of thing. But anyway, yeah. There was something else that I wanted to discuss about the Niners before we wrap this show up. Freak, I can't remember what it was. It's my wife's fault. I can't remember anything, guys. Damn, what was I gonna say? Freak, we talked about running backs. We talked about the moves that were made. We talked about Sean Coleman, the offensive line. I can't remember what it was. DJ Jones, my cousin, I'm gonna shout y'all out, and I'm gonna tell him to tune into this. Hey man, tell DJ Jones to hit us up at the email nbniners@nothingbutniners.com. Have his agent shoot me an email. I would love to get DJ Jones on here during the offseason. If he's really your cousin, tell him we said what's up. It's been all love for DJ Jones here, by the way. You can't watch. We have, what are we, close to 400 videos now, Nick?
Yeah, I think so.
You will, in 400 videos, we have never said a negative word about DJ Jones. Not one time. We love DJ Jones here. So if this is true, Nook, man, tell him, man, he's got a whole website that has been in support of him, and we would love to talk to him, even just for 5 minutes. The faithful deserve it. The faithful deserve it, man, and it's a good time to come on and start making the plea for being here long term. By the way, speaking of that, before we get to this comment, guys, it's the off season, and if you guys have ever tuned in, if you've been a long time subscriber to us here at Nothing But Niners, you guys know the off season is when we start bringing players in. We usually wait till after the draft. We try to get some rookies on. We get a couple of veterans on. It's that time of year. We're ramping it up. We already got one guy locked in. We're trying to iron down the time to do it. But there's players that are coming on, and we're going to do some interviews. And I would love to get DJ Jones on here also. So when this show is over, there will definitely be a link. You can just come back to our channel, look at the videos. It'll be the most recent video. You can check it out there. What was that? What was that comment that was there? It was another contribution.
Thoughts on Cardinals being a possible factor this year? They played us close last year.
Whether they played us close or not, they fought hard. Let me tell you, the Cardinals this year reminded me of the Niners of not this past season, the season before. The Niners were a team without their quarterback, but fought hard in every single game. Mm-hmm. And that's what the Cardinals reminded me of. I think the Cardinals, they're going to be a problem, man. The Cardinals are going to be a problem for sure. So, I think that the Cardinals are going to be a good team. Thanks for the contribution. I appreciate it. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch, man, because it's nothing is just cut and dry. Teams get better every single day. The Cardinals made a hell of a move this today. Also, they got Nuck, they got picks, and they moved David Johnson. They put a tender on Kenyon Drake. I imagine that they're working on an extension for him. And Drake was phenomenal when he touched the ball for them. So the Cardinals are going to be a problem, man. They've got some wide receivers over there that people aren't talking about. They're young guys that, for whatever reason, people act like aren't doing anything. And Larry Fitzgerald is still there. He's still there, bro. Larry Fitzgerald is a 49ers killer.
Andy Isabella's there for going into his second year. He's only going to get better.
Andy Isabella was my number 2 wide receiver that draft. Yep. I had Andy Isabella ranked very high, and I just didn't think that they used him a lot. But Andy Isabella is going to be a problem for years to come, man, especially with that quarterback that they have. So it's going to be a lot of fun, man. The NFC West did not get easier by any means. We're going to have to work to continue to be the NFC West champions, as it says on Breezy's hat. So.
Oh, yeah, and Christian Kirk. Forgot about him, too.
I didn't. That wide receiver core is for real over there. Veterans, young guys, they got it all over there, man.
And you know what it all does? With that 4 wideouts, it opens up lanes for Kyler Murray to take off.
The running backs and Kyler Murray, yeah, you're absolutely right, bro. 100% right.
Well,
that's crazy.
I'm ready for the mother suckers.
Guys, man, we're going to be back tomorrow. Was there anything else that you guys want to touch on before we get up out of here?
Nah, man, I'm Gucci. Well, I'll be bringing you breaking news tomorrow because expect more to happen.
Yeah, guys, the NFL was waiting for this CBA to be approved or denied so they can make the right moves, and we're seeing the effects of it already. What a day. Day 1 in the books. The 49ers extended Sean Coleman. Let me be clear. Yeah. The 49ers extended Sean Coleman. They traded DeForest Buckner and acquired a first-round pick. The 49ers extended Eric Armstead, and they created more cap space. We are just getting started this offseason, guys.
And gained another first-round pick.
Yeah. John Lynch is digging his heels in. This is by far the hardest offseason John Lynch and his 49ers front office will face. We had no cap space. We had 5 draft picks. And it seemed like we were just going to have to go through this and see what happens. We were losing a lot of key contributors. And John Lynch has already started flipping the script. That's talent. That is, John Lynch is going to be showing people why he's here. That's going to happen all this offseason. This is the offseason to define John Lynch. I'm not talking about what happened in the past. I'm not worried about what's happening in the future. This is the offseason of definition for John Lynch. You want to know how good he is? You are going to find out right now. This is the most pivotal offseason. After coming off a Super Bowl appearance, how do you respond? How do you get better? How do you improve? And a lot of people are going to say you improve by getting rid of your best defensive lineman. I don't think so. It's time to show improve, man. He's got to show faith in his coaching staff. He's got to show faith in the players and the draft picks that he gets. He's got to manipulate the cap, and he's got to manipulate the draft. It sucks because, from what I understand, the NFL draft is canceled to the public. They're still going to have it, but the public can't be there.
Correct.
So I won't be going to Vegas after all. That was the plan all along.
Make sure you get your money back for your flights too, because the airlines
flight insurance is a great thing, ain't it?
Even without the insurance, they were refunding people. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, $7.99 wasted. But either.
But you didn't know about the Corona, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Right. You didn't know about that Rona.
Sean Schaefer here said that his 2-month-old
Kanan
is in ICU getting an MRI for brain damage right now, only letting one parent in because of Corona. So sending prayers to you and your family here for Kanan as well, Sean.
Prayers up, Sean. We're praying.
Yeah, man. Make sure you guys send a prayer. Make sure you comment a prayer here and pray for Sean and his family and Kanan. as well. So
man. Jesus. I would never ask him to put his personal business out there, but yeah, man, absolutely. Prayers up for him. Also, prayers up for the family of one of our bigger supporters, Cinnamon Kiss.
yes,
Cinnamon
She
Kiss.
lost her
She lost
mom.
her mother recently. Sin, we didn't forget about that either, man. Or ma'am, I should say. Prayers out to you and your family as well, guys. People are going through it out there, and the least we can do during the national quarantine is bring you guys some shows and try to. We're not gonna make you guys forget about anything, but we can at least provide a temporary distraction. If there's topics you guys want us to discuss, shoot us an email to nbniners@nothingbutniners.com. We'll see those emails. The text line was going crazy all day long. Nick, were you texting on there? Because I was getting text messages all day long.
Yeah, I was texting back to people today.
Yeah, it was like it was a one-sided conversation on my side, so I don't see the responses. I just see people saying, hey Nick, listen to this. There was at least 50 text messages today. One of them said, hey Mike. Only one said, hey Mike. But look, the least we can do is respond to you guys and bring you guys breaking news. And like I said, that temporary distraction. We're a family. We're here to uplift each other and distract each other from the hardships of everyday life. That's what this is all about. It's all entertainment. We do this all for you guys, and I mean that. I really do.
So the Bills sent back a 7th rounder also, and that's the only
Right. That's what I was. Yeah, I was gonna say that.
So yeah, that's it, man. I got nothing else to say. Nick said that he was done, and so did Breezy. So we're gonna get up out of here, guys. Again, thank you guys for checking us out. Make sure you guys stop by and hit up the website. It is www.nothingbutniners.com. That is going to be where you get anything. If we can get any articles out, great, we will. If not, we will continue to bring you guys the shows and the late breaking news. But that is going to be your one-stop shop for any and everything 49ers. Shout out to Zach, also, his family. You guys have seen Zach on this show. He lost his uncle. His uncle, 49ers. I don't know if I should be saying this on the air. I mean, it's Niners related, right? His uncle had 49ers floral arrangements at his funeral. And Zach, I believe he said he was decked out in 49ers gear from head to toe. I'm pretty sure I saw Zach say that. That is a faithful right there. That is a faithful right there, man. So, prayers up for Zach and his family. Yeah, absolutely, man. Guys, like I said, man, this is a family, man. This is a 49ers family, man. All you guys look at you guys like brothers, friends. And so, we hope that everybody can get through these tiresome times. I hope you guys can find some toilet paper. All right. Make sure you guys stop by shopnbniners.com. All right. That is shop NB9ERS.
Get your NB Niners logo toilet paper there.
Now we got to get the other team's toilet paper so we could wipe our butts with it. Yeah, that's what we got.
Yeah, man. We got the Facebook and Instagram. Those handles are nothing but Niners. That's spelled all the way out. So you guys make sure you check that out as well. And then also give us a follow on Snapchat and Twitter. That is nothing but 9ERS. Bring that message back up here from Sean. I saw one more up there and it went away really quick. That one is from Sean Shepard. He says, sorry for the personal. No. Don't apologize for that, man. Let us know. Let us know, man. You're a constant supporter of us. We're going to support you in your endeavors however we can. If there's anything that we can do for you, man, let us know. We'll happily spread the message. And prayers up for Keenan, man, for sure. So, yeah, that's going to be it for us here tonight, guys. We'll be back tomorrow. Let me tell you guys, Tony worked until 11 o'clock. This guy was calling me. Hopefully he don't see this part. I think he was in the shitter. Tony was like sneaking away to the bathroom. Mike, what's happening? Mike, what's happening? I'm like, dude, I'm working. I don't know everything that's going on. And I'm letting him know stuff. And, we're breaking it down all day long. Tony can't wait to get on here and talk with you guys. So we will be back tomorrow. I know he's off tomorrow. We're going to come back. You'll hear some repeated stuff. We're going to hear some new stuff also. We got some thoughts that we didn't all share tonight that we're going to bring you guys tomorrow as well. So make sure you guys are tuned in. Because I joined from my phone tonight, we weren't able to open up the phone lines, but perhaps we can do that tomorrow and let you guys sound off on how you're feeling. Some people were not happy with moving on from DeForest Buckner. Honestly, I would like to hear from some of those people. I would want to hear why people weren't happy with the trade that happened today. So make sure you guys are locked in. I got nothing else to say. Fellas, the floor is yours for final thoughts.
Tune in tomorrow, man. We're going to bring you some more news, and I'm going to talk about some possible draft picks at 13 and 31.
Yeah, I really haven't started to dig into the draft because we were drafting so late, but I guess I have to get my little butt on that with my quarantine, with my shoulder and the corona going around. And yeah, so I'll check that out and come with you with that at you with some of that tomorrow as well. So other than that, guys, pay attention to all the mandates and stuff that are out there. The only way we're going to get a hold of this whole thing is that if we actually, as a nation, do what we're supposed to. And just follow all the guidelines, follow all the rules, man. There's no sense in anybody getting sick and continuing the spread. So suck it up. Let's stay in and do what we got to do. Go ahead, Mike.
Check your local news stations and websites. Apparently, they are doing like this crop dusting type thing over certain cities on certain days, and they want you to be inside when they do it. It's supposed to be something that they're releasing into the atmosphere to try to combat the coronavirus. I went to go pick up, this is going to sound crazy, right? Because how it started, but I went to go pick up Chinese food today, and the guy was telling me about the days they're doing it in Philadelphia. You guys know I'm close to Philly. The days that they're doing it over Trenton and stuff like that. And so if you have windows that you leave open, we have a window on our second floor that we leave open year round. I have to check the website so I make sure I close it because you don't want those chemicals seeping into your home. So make sure you guys are inside during those times. Check your local websites, your news stations, so you know exactly when you should not be outside, guys. They try to do it at like inopportune times. Like when I say that, some cities are on lockdown from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. type of thing. So that's when they plan on doing the flyover. So make sure you check those sites for that.
One more football thing before we go. Amari Cooper intends to re-sign with the Dallas Cowboys on a 5-year, $100 million deal.
Woo! I didn't know they had money to do that. I didn't think they had the bread.
He will no longer be going to the Patriots.
Well, he said intends.
They're giving him $20 million a year?
Yep.
Nice.
5 years, $100 million.
Nice.
But
wow.
Yeah, but like Mike was saying, guys, just make sure you pay attention to your local news stations, man. Even if you don't like Trump, just make sure you listen to all the things that are going on. There's a lot of people out there with autoimmune diseases and things like that too. So, just be smart. Older people, 65 and above, 60 and above, just, be safe, man. You don't want to bring that shit home to your family or your grandparents or things like that. So, I understand that it's easier for younger people to get over it and things like that, but you still don't want to keep the spread going. I'd like to be outside this summer, so I'm not trying to be locked up till July or August like they were saying today on the TV. So just pay attention to everything, man. Take it fully in one ear and soak it into your brain and listen to it and do as they say, so that we can get through this and less lives taken and things like that. So don't be stubborn. Pay attention to it and be on top of it.
Prepare for glory.
Anticipate pain.
But always remain faithful.
We out of here. Peace.